Welcome to my art studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. Finish this painting, but I'm sure, or at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com. Well, hello everybody. How you doing?
It's another day in paradise.
That it is. How you doing, Michael?
Oh, just over here living the dream, enjoying the weather as the snow starts to come in.
Oh yeah, you guys are about to get the snow we got. Haha.
Yes, sometime overnight tonight, the temperature's already falling.
I will be texting and bragging about us not having a snow now. You know how you did it to me? I'll be doing it
Exactly.
to you for next 2 days.
It's revenge.
It's revenge time. Well, let's stay warm.
Oh,
All
yeah,
this
we'll do.
global warming is destroying us, man. Like somebody's gonna do something about this global warming.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start a tire fire outside, get some smoke up there, help boost the CO2 a little bit. Maybe it'll warm up.
Yeah, I know. We have had no snow, no ice, no cold. What a joke. Okay, let's get to it. Oh boy. It is still going on, as of right now at least. Yeah, our country at the moment does not have an active Congress. How does that even work, Michael?
I don't know. I was listening to like Brandon talk about this earlier, and then other people, just as I've had podcasts on throughout the day, that like the last time this happened was during the Civil War. Over 100 years, it's been over 100 years since there's been this many votes and this many people that just can't make up their mind. You know, I, I can't decide if this is like an exercise in insanity. You keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, or maybe, just maybe, I think Zelensky is putting pressure on McCarthy to not give up because he needs his money. He's looking to buy another house somewhere.
Yeah, he needs his millions, but yes, I know we're laughing and all, but this is becoming, it's it has passed the point of like we are officially lawless.
Yeah.
Like we're officially at the lawlessness point, which I learned from Terry Torchy on Brown House's documentary when Siege.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, documentary Siege. But it's like I was thinking, I think it was yesterday. I'm like, okay, so here's a situation where we're kind of sort of just repeatedly doing round 1, round 2, round 3, round 100, round 150, round 180, whatever the round is.
Yeah.
Exact same thing is looping around. McCarthy isn't willing to step down. Now, I understand President Trump has announced that he's willing to take the job if his name is put out and he gets the vote. And I'm like, I don't remember. Well, I'm not older than 100 years, so clearly I don't remember. But I can't imagine what they went through the last time this was happening. They went through 132 rounds, I think, if I'm correct.
Something like that. But I mean, it was literally during the Civil War. So you have like the country is divided. It's on different battle lines. I mean, I guess I kind of understand it a little more then, that nobody's willing to make any concessions or negotiate. But now, I mean, at the very least, McCarthy should step aside and, let another swamp monster take his place, and then let somebody else also come up against him.
But bingo though. How many people, including Alex Newman, Daniel Greenfield, Robert Spencer, Brian House himself, how many people have been saying that we are at Civil War? We're in Civil War. Look, right now could yet be another proof that the division in this country and a civil war without a single bullet shot is taking place right now.
Yeah, well, I think we're definitely in a cold civil war, and I would say like there even have been like small skirmishes or engagements. Like, I mean, what else do you call these riots that went on for an entire summer during the Summer of Love? Or
you mean the mostly peaceful BLM stuff?
Yeah, the fiery but mostly peaceful protests. What else do you call that? Or these other single incidents where, and I don't remember if this was Portland or Seattle, where they thought the one guy was conservative, so somebody just shot him in the face and then turned himself,
Portland.
or no, then was Portland, and then was taken down by a SWAT team later. We've had other like small incidents like that where people have been attacked, but it isn't like widely reported. We're like, oh yeah, it's just a single crazy person, but it's pushing
Well,
people to the brink.
there's always January 6th.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, literal political prisoners.
Literal political prisoners set up, walked into a trap, which is a discussion of its own. I'm not going to get there or go there right now. But yeah, it's literally. By the way, to our lovely audience, I'm sorry, I kind of like dived right in. As always, please do share this video, and then if somebody could just let us know. I don't know if our comment section is having glitches, but I'm not getting any of the comments. If you haven't commented, that's all right. But if somebody can just put something on the comment, hopefully we'll see it. But yes, we got all the signs of civil war. Now the question remains to be answered. Who's going to save humanity from itself? I mean it.
It's a good question. I mean, I would like to see. Okay, so like I can understand McCarthy sticking around for the first two votes, seeing if maybe something breaks his direction. But I would like to see more people realizing that McCarthy doesn't have the votes, either support Byron Donaldson or maybe a stronger push for Trump or even another candidate. I understand like Jim Jordan has already said publicly like he doesn't want this role. He wants to stay as a committee chair so he can ask questions and interrogate, that kind of thing. And that is what he's suited for. But there are plenty of other elected representatives that I think would be a much better fit, obviously much better than McCarthy, that could step up and nominate someone or volunteer themselves and have someone nominate them.
Perfect. And thanks. I am getting the comments now. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Yes. Now here's the thing. I will go back to my own question. Who's going to save humanity from itself? And I understand. Some people might be saying, Jesus Christ, God. Mm-mm. I learned something absolutely amazing. Again, I'm going to get the day confused. Either today, yesterday, or day before. I'm not doing too well. Just as an update, I am back to somewhat normal, but my brain is still a little drawing blank things. So just stay with me here. Go to wordweweekend.com and just scroll down. You'll find it. It's one of Brandon's radios. Again, either today, yesterday, max day before. The title starts with like 5 signs God has given us about things. But I learned something amazing listening to, as you know, I always tune into Brandon's radio or show.
Mhm.
It was amazing what he mentioned as the whole hour he was doing Bible study. And what I learned was nope. The concept of Jesus will save humanity from itself, it's not correct. Jesus will save those of us who have surrendered to him. And then another thing was, he said, you need to learn. Now, I am nowhere near properly putting this together. So I repeat, go watch the actual segment by Brandon. I'm just doing my whole, half English understanding of it. But it's the fact that in life, sometimes God lets you go to be at service of the devil or do wrong or commit sins, not because God has approved of it. No, that is not God's approval. Again, amazing episode. I strongly suggest go. As you know, I have learned a lot about my own faith and Bible from Brandon. And I'm so glad he's back to doing Bible studies. And just since we're plugging it, every Sunday he does have a program called Worldview Weekend Hour. Starts right at 8 p.m. on Lindell TV. The entire hour is Bible study, the whole hour every Sunday. So you may want to tune into that too. But my point is, for anyone who said, geez, nope, where we're at today, Michael, strongly, I believe strongly, we're at a point where, sadly, breaks my heart to say this, but majority of us are going to perish.
I agree. I think a lot of people, well, to kind of add on to what you said, God, like God doesn't work like a genie. Like you don't pray for something and your prayers are magically answered. He's going to open doors for you, but it's up to you to take the actions. And that's where I feel like a lot of us are missing the cue right now. It's up to us to get these things done that we want to see happen. And it's also up to us to protect ourselves and safeguard ourselves against a lot of these evils that we see moving forward within our nation and around the world right now.
Exactly. And another part of it is, uh, I do apologize. I'm gonna try to catch some of our because the Facebook comments aren't coming through here, so I'm just gonna make sure we don't miss anybody's questions there.
Cool.
But another thing about it, it's like the temptation. Now, don't get me wrong. In no shape or form am I sitting here telling you I'm perfect or I'm sinless. No, I'm a sinner just like the rest of the world. But I have realized that certain temptation has reached a point where fellow Christians give in to the temptation and then go and ask for forgiveness later. I have heard this so much, like repent and ask for forgiveness, and Lord will forgive us no matter what. And that is very accurate and very correct. However, repenting and asking for forgiveness, it's not an Advil or a Tylenol, okay?
Yeah.
You don't go get hungover, pop Advils, and you're good again. No. When you repeatedly repeat the same category of one of the seven deadly sins, or all of them together at this point, like I can
Yes.
point out some of these representatives who were elected, like we fell in love with them based on their Christianity, and now they're like literally under an umbrella on top of the seven deadly sins.
Yeah. Well, you're exactly right. I mean, a lot of times, like these are tests from God, and yes, sometimes we are going to fail, and we have to ask for forgiveness. But then it's up to us to then do better the next time. That doesn't mean you won't fail on some aspects again. But if you're asking God for forgiveness, you also need to be altering your behavior to try to not make those same mistakes again. It isn't just like you said; it's not a magic washing machine. It doesn't just wipe away everything. There's an expected improvement.
Exactly. Here's a question, Michael. You might, I don't really know the answer. Hopefully, you do. Question is, isn't it negotiating favors for votes um, as akin to taking bribes? So, did that
Yes,
make sense?
yeah, and yes, it does. Yeah, yeah. So like some of this stuff where they're like the horse trading and all that that's going around right now, where McCarthy thought he had a deal the other night, and that something was going to change, but it clearly didn't because he lost more votes again. There's always going to be some of that going on, and some of that is representatives that want, say, a committee chair seat, or they want to make sure their bill is addressed. And I think we can say that's a bad thing all we want, and I do agree that we don't want backroom deals. We want things to be out in public. But honestly think too, no matter what, you're going to have that happen because it's the reality of human behavior, especially as people become friends or they work together. We're always asking each other for favors. The problem is now it's become so corrupt. And it isn't just, hey, can we get my bill up for a vote? Either way, it's I want to get X dollars to my district. Or I want this project funded or that project funded. And they're funding everything with our money. So it isn't just make horse trading and making a deal to make sure your bill gets a chance on the floor. It's all these other things. It's corruption, and it is direct bribery in a lot of cases.
Got it. Well, thanks, because I don't know the answer either. So thanks for answering that, and hopefully, the question was answered for the audience. Uh, Quickly back to what we were saying is, now I would like to connect this because here's the thing. Very recently, it's been a while that I have, voiced my concern with previous government in Israel, current government, Netanyahu. I mean, woo. I mean,
Well,
did you see the video, Michael?
yeah, when you were on with Brandon the other day,
Yeah. Did
yeah,
I mean? For those of you who have not seen it, you can just find it anywhere or go to. Wait a minute. Word will you report from 4th January 4th
yes,
on wordviewweekend.com. Find it. There's a segment that Brian talked about, but there is a video of Bibi Netanyahu sitting there literally flat out openly bragging proudly about how he used his people as lab rats with this vaccine and jab. And I'm like, oh, who are you and what have you done with Netanyahu?
Oh
Like
yeah.
I genuinely, as you know, very, very little in politics does surprise me anymore. This one did. Like my jaw dropped. I'm like, whoa, I'm sitting here as an Iranian American thinking, oh Lord, please, Netanyahu, form your government so he can help the people of Iran. I'm like, oops. I mean,
Yeah.
what?
Well, you also covered another story with them and these drills they're doing with the U.S. right now to, I guess, how did you put it? Kind of intimidate some of the protesters in Iran, make them think it'll just turn into another war zone, like a lot of other countries in the Middle East right now, if they continue to resist the regime, the Islamic regime.
Yes, it's what in translated from Farsi to English, it's the mocked war, meaning there is no real war. It's kind of like what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. It's mocked. It's a
Yeah.
planned, or there's another name for it. I can't remember, but that's what they're doing. This whole drone thing, between Israel and U.S. seem to be what is being used in Iran by the regime. That if you don't go home, if you don't let us get back on our feet, we won't be able to fight this war, and you are going to be killed by bombs.
Yeah.
That is the narrative, which is, again, am I surprised that the Biden regime is involved with this propaganda? No. Was I surprised Netanyahu's government is? Yes. Am I today? Not anymore, because I have learned to just like accept and move on, accept and move on.
Yeah.
But with all of that being said, I do criticize the Israeli government, just like I criticize any other government. Well, I have problem with govern in general. Apparently, lately, I
Yes.
have come to realize I can't do governments anymore. I don't trust anybody in any government no longer, because it seems like they are all part of deepest state and
Yes.
elite, one way or another. A small portion, errand boy, all the way to the CEO. Now, with that being said, however, that doesn't mean that as a Christian, as an Iranian with the last name Cyrus, as a human rights activist, I have stopped caring for the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Um, and on that note, I look around, and last year we constantly talked about it, but you look around and you're like, based on report by Jihad Watch Robert Spencer, at this point, FBI is actually openly declaring a decline on hate crime against Jews. Anti-Semitism is at its highest in America, United States of America.
Yes.
Right when we are absolutely bending over backward, pleasing all the Islamic societies in America because we don't want to offend them, we have turned our back on Jewish people. Like, that's one of the things I'm like, I will bring up this Netanyahu situation and the video and the bribe, because this is the time that we should speak out for people of Israel, for the Jews. They have been abused by their government for once,
Yeah.
with this jab being pushed on them and tested on them. So we gotta start. It's a new year. It's the whole concept of a lot going wrong with our own nation here in America. But remember, again, with my last name is Cyrus, for those of you who are not familiar with it, Cyrus, king of Persia, mentioned in Bible. I hope I pronounced the English word of it correctly. It's in Ezekiel. Is that how you said, Michael? Ezekiel?
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. There you go. Please note, I read my Bible in Farsi, so sometimes I don't know how to say the English one. It's in there. You can read about it. That Cyrus, king of Persia, freed the Jews uh, in Babylon. So the relationship has always been there. I'm a human rights activist. As a Christian, it is our job to support and help the Jewish people. You put all of that together. I'm ranting on here because I'm a little frustrated with this scenario. But
Yeah.
I need my fellow Americans, I need my fellow Christians to speak up, stand up for our Jewish people here in America, in Israel,
Yeah.
anywhere. These people have been through enough. Come on.
Well, yeah, and to zoom out another level, in Israel's enemies are lining up against them right now on the world stage as well. Russia's putting a lot of pressure on them again because of deals they have with Iran, and Lebanon and their other neighbors over these natural gas and energy deposits, the possibility of gold being found there. I mean, there's a lot of things lining up that line up with biblical prophecy that are not very likely to happen otherwise. I mean, it's a scary world we're in right now.
Exactly. And at this point, I know we've said it before, but it is so dire for us not to be silent anymore. It's
Yes.
not an option. Like there was a time that it was an option. It's not an option anymore. If you
Well,
choose to be quiet, if you choose to not push back, you might as well just, I mean, roll on the floor and bye bye.
yeah, by being silent, we're just paving the way for more. And I think that's a lot of the reason we got here is by not pushing back early on. The easiest example is always the LGBTQ agenda. It started with gay marriage, and I think most people, or a lot of people, were like, "Okay, yeah, just let people be happy, do what they want." But now we see where that's gone from something simple that people can understand to now where it's pushed in the schools every single day. It's transing the kids. I was watching earlier with this poor guy Jeff Younger who lives in Texas, and his wife just took their kids to California because of the law there, and she wants to, trans one of their kids. I mean, it's disgusting. And again,
It's
we,
more
we've
like mutilate one of the kids. That's the
yeah,
proper term.
yeah, you're exactly right. And I think by us sitting by and just letting a lot of this stuff happen and not being more vocal about it or putting our foot down and demanding things stop, that's part of why things are so far out of hand. The uniparty, the deep state, the left, whatever you want to call them, these globalists, they were able to push through so much of their agenda that now they know they can just steamroll us and get the rest of it through without there being much real reaction on our part.
Exactly. And that's the thing for I understand it's overwhelming. Trust us guys. Every morning both of us wake up and it's non-stop. We're like communicating non-stop, either on the phone, it's via a text message, whatever it is. Did you hear this? Hey, did you hear that? Hey, we should cover this. Like by the time we get on air, we have sort through at least 30, 40 different stories and reports to just decide what to cover. And to be honest, we normally try to pick things other outlets are not covering, so we can give attention to what's being kind of overlooked, if you call it. But we get that overwhelming feeling. We have it sometimes. I mean, we even lose our mind sometimes. Like, let's just pull the plug. I want to be raw. So you don't think that we just sit here and tell you to, oh, just go for it. No, we understand what it takes. We understand the pain. We understand the sorrow. Uh, our lovely friend Yosama Dakdok told me a few days ago, he called to check on me, and he made a very great point of, Annie, if you don't separate yourself from the sorrow of what's happening in your motherland and the sorrow of what's happening here in America, it will get to you. And he's very right. It will get to me. It will be exhausting. So we understand the negative. We understand the courage. We understand the bravery. We understand the sacrifices. But guys, at this point, there is no other way out. Okay, I should rephrase that. There is no other proper human and Christian way out of this scenario except making the compromises, sacrifices, be brave, support each other when one person gets tired. I mean, you've seen it a lot of time. Marco generously sits in for me because I just don't have the energy. I'm drained. He sits in for me. Sometimes we do it together.
Yeah.
Find that support team. You don't have to agree on everything as long as you agree on love of America, and you do believe that our Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ. That's all the common you need to have to
Yes.
jump in. Just find your support team, get involved. I'm sorry, I went on a long rant again, Marco.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
but you're right on the money. Again, bingo bango. Because and I think it is very overwhelming, especially in a situation like right now, where we are all it doesn't just feel like we're being attacked on all sides, we are being attacked on all sides. And this has been relentless over the last several years. And it's also that disappointment over and over again in these elected leaders that we thought would help us campaigned one way, then they get to Washington and they stab us in the back. So it's that disappointment over and over again. But we can't check out. We can't just, tune out from the world, go about our business and hope things will fix themselves. That clearly is not going to happen unless we stay involved. And yes, sometimes you are going to feel overwhelmed. It's going to seem like the walls are closing in on you. But that's why you also need that good support structure, friends you can count on, people you can talk to, and a good support system. Like Annie and I, again, we communicate throughout the day. We have other friends that we bounce ideas off of, and that's what keeps us motivated and keeps us going. Because sometimes you do hit that wall, you feel like, well, it doesn't matter what I do now, it's not going to make any difference. but we can't check out. I would be furious with myself if I did that and then looked back at things a week later, all the missed opportunities. And
How many times have I called you like, I'm done? You're
oh
like, okay,
yeah,
I'll talk to you in an hour.
yeah,
Hour later, I'll call him like, okay, what's the next topic? You're like, welcome back.
yeah. And everybody has those moments, but you can't, even if you feel like checking out, sometimes you can't do it, because if we don't stay in here and stay in the fight, nobody's going to do it for us.
Well, here's the thing. You can check out, but you can never leave. Yes, Hotel
Yeah,
California. It is what it. I have checked out a few times, but I've never left. It's
exactly.
okay to take some time. It's okay to do something you like. As you know, I mean, I do my art. That's my getaway. I just go to my garage and my mind is just completely clear of everything because I have to concentrate on measurements and chemicals and all that. Uh, okay, I don't have a math lab. Just in case if
Yeah, yeah.
that sounded
In case
so
there's any
bad.
in case there's any questions, it's not that kind of studio.
Resin art, that's what I work with. But as we come to end of our part with Lindell TV audience, let's just quickly hint on this as well. Now, when we say anti-Semitism, remember always on the very top of the chart of anti-Semitism is the Islamic jihad and Islamic attack. Remember, in Quran by itself, not even including Muhammad and the Hadith, just Quran by itself, Jews are the cursed people. Jews are the ones Allah turned his back on, yada 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 yada. And the day of peace will not arrive until every Muslim fights every Jew, and the stones will tell them, hey Muslim, there's a Jew behind me, come kill it, all that stuff. So Islamic jihad and Islamization helps the process of growing anti-Semitism. For example, the New Year's Eve attacker has already said that I wanted to kill these Americans because US supports Israel. Now
Yes.
you have the Massachusetts Muslim who started, waving his machete, trying to kill police officers, but thankfully he was shot before he could do any damage. The same thing. Now, on this, we're going to take your attention to one of the ways you fight back is to fight back against Islamization. Do
Yes.
not buy into coexistence. Do not buy into, there are many videos of me. You can go back on liveuptofreedom.com and watch them. I have brought the verses when the Jesus they believe in is not our Lord and Savior. Don't let them manipulate you and your heart and your mind through your Christianity, because I've seen this. Hey, interfaith dialogue. Push back. Don't give in. You see any Islamic attack, be vocal about it. Don't be afraid when they say, oh, you're an Islamophobe. Let them know that unless they stand with us and fight back, we will consider all of them the enemies of Christians and Jews based on their own holy Quran and nothing else.
Bingo. Yeah, there is no such thing as Islamophobia. A key tenet of the religion is the destruction or the enslavement or conversion of everyone else on earth. So any religion like that cannot coexist with any other. It's not a religion of peace. Don't be deceived.
Exactly. The beheadings. And that's it. That's the interesting part, how they are going back. One of my things was, wait a minute. So we are pushing for gun control, which is a topic of its own that we can discuss forever. But
Yeah.
we're pushing, no, we are not. The elite are pushing for gun control. But when a Muslim comes waving a machete, nobody says machetes kill people, right? It was just a lone wolf with mental health that killed people, right? Just
Yeah.
want to be sure, like, the double standards are that disgusting at this point.
Oh, they are. Yeah, and it isn't about. It isn't even about preventing death. Like they really wanted to. And more people are killed by Priuses, people driving Priuses every year in the U.S. than are killed by guns. But if you bring that up, people just look at you like you're crazy.
I'm sorry, that was good. Go ahead.
It's the truth. But more people are killed by baseball bats in the U.S. every year, or blunt objects. Now, I've gone through these like DOJ statistics before, but nobody's talking about banning baseball bats and cricket bats or hockey sticks or blunt
No.
objects in general or knives. It's because they want to disarm us so they can control us. Because you see how people got steamrolled in Canada or Australia or other countries where there's no means of fighting back.
Iran?
And yeah, and Iran. Yeah, think about it. They
This
actually.
revolution would have been done and over with a month ago if they were armed.
Oh yeah, probably sooner than that if they were actually armed. Because they're over. What are they? They're probably close to 100 days now, right? Or over 100 days.
Oh, pass. Getting close to 120 days.
Yeah,
Here
I'm bad with
on
time.
January 16th will be 120th day.
Oh wow.
4 months.
So yeah, but if they had been armed, even with just simple small arms, that country would already be free and the world would be a much better place.
Yes, we are out of time with our Lindell TV audience. You guys, as always, stay safe and stay vigilant. God bless you and God bless America. Our audience on other platforms, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a 1 minute sponsor break and be back to continue this discussion.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. Years ago, when I invented My Pillow, I was faced with every adversity you could think of. No retailers wanted to sell My Pillow. That's come full circle. Vendors took advantage of me, and I was copied by China. Well, by the grace of God, I was able to get through all that and learn from it. I have a passion to help other U.S. entrepreneurs, and that's why I created my new platform, mystore.com. We have hundreds of products from amazing entrepreneurs, and to celebrate, I'm going to put My Pillows on mystore.com right now. You can get my standard My Pillows regularly $69.98, now only $19.98 with your promo code. Or you can get my standard queen size, regular $79.98, now only $29.98. Or you can get my premium king size, regularly $89.98, now only $34.98. So go to mystore.com and use that promo code on your screen to get huge discounts on all My Store products. Thank you and God bless.
Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for staying with us until now. Those of you who are still with us, yes, go to mypillow.com, mypillow.com, or mystore.com. Use the promo code AC21, AC21, and you get discounts. We get credit so we can continue doing what we do. Also, my artist store, lutfstudio.com. Bunch of new items, and I don't mean just new design, actual items are new and never had them before. Use the promo code Frank and you get discount while supporting what we do. And please keep in mind, if you see anything there that you do like the form, you don't like the colors, you can always write to the seller. There's a button there and tell me that, hey, you want this in different colors. We do take custom orders. So what's happening, Michael?
I want to respond to this for Ingrid's comment here real quick. Many more people are killed by doctors. Yeah, you've got that right. I looked it up while the commercial was running. It's at least 250,000 deaths per year in the U.S. So that puts it as the third leading cause of death. So yes.
Well, is that include the doctors who put the jab in people's arm?
I don't know. That's what I was about to ask. I bet the
It's
numbers are a
not.
lot higher.
Oh yeah, if you count those, the numbers are definitely higher. While we were on the break, I was just playing with my pen out of habit, and I decided to hit my eye with this, and yeah.
Did you
Anyhow,
really?
that's all right. I have my eye still here. I just might do this in the middle. No, I'm not gonna make myself a raccoon. That would look pretty. But yes, agreed, Ingrid. Back to someone actually commented on Facebook saying we should just outlaw all the machetes. Here's the thing: the only thing that needs to be outlawed, which has already been outlawed, it just need to be enforced, is Sharia.
Yeah.
Sharia is already outlawed in our constitution. No foreign laws allowed to be practiced in America. Sharia is a systematic Islamic law by definition, a foreign law.
Yep.
We ban that. Here's the thing: these Islamic attacks. Let's go over them. Like you name it, they've used it. Michael, haven't
Yeah.
they?
Oh yeah. Cars, trucks, bombs, bullets, knives, themselves. It doesn't matter.
Acid.
Yeah, people will use whatever tool they have at hand, and it's not hard to get an illegal firearm, even in a country with strict gun control. I mean, look at the UK. Once they made it extremely restrictive, basically outlawed firearms. Gun violence went up by almost 400%. So, outlawing stuff doesn't do anything. The problem is the people committing the violence, and in this case, where it's religious, it's a system that they're under, and we are the enemy. Then there isn't a way to just outlaw and fix that. You have to either combat it or don't.
Well, that again, we outlaw Sharia. That's gonna solve majority of the problems.
Well,
It
to tie it
does.
back into how you started, we're a lawless society right now. And as you stated, foreign laws are already illegal, but it's the lack of enforcement. Like a lot of our problems, we have laws against, illegal aliens coming over our border, but there's zero enforcement. We have laws against a lot of things right now, but there's no enforcement.
But that's the thing. If we would stretch this even farther,
Hmm.
further, Anyhow, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Technically, by definition, any law outside of constitution is illegal. Even all the laws that these Congress members are passing that is unconstitutional, they should all be outlawed.
Yes.
I really don't care who sign offs on them. We, the people, should not. For example, I remember a very dear friend of mine in Los Angeles, California. He always carried his weapon. And my question was like, hey, if, they catch you with it, he's like, what are they going to do? They're going to take me to prison. They're going to send me to court. And then I will counter them by taking them to federal court because I'm simply practicing my Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And his point was if everyone in blue states would do this, there would be enough hustle and headache for the federal court that would take away the state law and turn it back into constitutional carry. End of the story. And he's very correct. Not enough people are going to do that. Not enough people are going to say, well, who has the money to go to court, who has time, I got to keep my job, yada, yada, yada. And that's exactly what the government, both federal and state, has taken advantage of in last almost 70 years, 75 years, that not enough of us are willing to make the compromise and the sacrifice because we're out there, trying to survive the basic of life while other rights are being taken away. So yes, if we stretch it, we could say even laws made by Congress or executive orders, nothing. If you read that portion of Constitution, no law outside of Constitution shall be applied. Foreign, internal, Congress, executive does matter.
And you're exactly right. And we see this stuff too. Like everybody sees laws like this, knows they're unconstitutional or outright illegal, but none of us want to be that person that makes the sacrifice, then has to be the one to fight back. Has to be the what is the word I'm looking for? But nobody wants to be that test case to push it forward and have our life disrupted. So instead, we just abide by unconstitutional laws. And again, that's how we've gotten here, by being weak and not standing strong and not being willing to be that person that's making the sacrifice and having to fight back against these unconstitutional laws. Or if you're a sheriff, refusing to enforce things.
Exactly. I'll take us back to Iran again.
Mm-hmm.
Constitution. Sacrificial lamb is the word we're looking for.
Yes, it is.
Thanks, Jake.
Good job.
In Iran, Constitution of the land says women have to wear hijab starting age 9, right?
No.
It is the Constitution, fine, but it goes against the Declaration of Human Rights. People in Iran stopped, like literally look at some of the videos right now, Michael, on the street, like women, it's not even over their shoulder anymore. It's gone. Like they're just not wearing it. You want to kill me? That's fine. We have these terms in America that we run them out of our mouth, like, all day long of give me freedom or give me death, give me liberty or give me death. But we don't actually apply it. There is no way if they put a gun on our head, we would like, no, I'm going to die a free man. We'd be like, oh, where would you like me to put the shackle?
Exactly. People have backed down immediately. And it's always the ones that like broadcast it the most that tend to be the most afraid when all of a sudden the police come knocking on their door asking questions.
Right.
But and like to a certain extent, like I do understand, like people don't want to, you don't want to go out and do things like unnecessarily, but at the same time, like so many lines have been crossed, what is it finally going to take to get people to be active again? Because these aren't like little infringements we're talking about anymore. Our rights are literally being swept out from under us right now. And there's very, very little resistance. And again, none from the people that we put in charge and expect to defend us.
Yeah, let's not forget how we judge. Well, he broke the law. What law? Like, seriously, right this moment, if there would be a case of, I don't know, somebody in one of the blue states was arrested for concealing a weapon. The first reaction is like, well, he should just move to a red state.
No.
Why? We don't encourage the guys like, good for you for going after a constitutional law. No, our suggestion is you should evacuate. If it was up to us, all the blue states would be empty right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The real question is that judge should be asking, or the people in the jury should be asking is this law constitutional to begin with? And more than often than not, the answer is going to be no. And then if you do have a state that is writing oppressive laws within the boundaries as defined by the Constitution, that's when you consider moving. When
Exactly.
they've got ridiculous fees on your house, or taxes on things that don't make sense, so they're controlling the waterways, doing other things that are left to the states that they still have plenty of power. They can still be oppressive. But that was always the idea, is to have these individual laboratories, and things were supposed to get better. But instead, we've kind of ended up with every state has their own way to like line the politicians and the in crowd's pockets. It's like they're all 50 individual piggy banks instead.
Well, let's go over this. Let's talk about it first for a few minutes, Michael. Socialism. Okay. I'm pretty familiar with socialist communist system. Because when you live in Islamic country, the system of finance is extremely communist. The system of society is extremely socialist. Okay. On that note, I'm pretty familiar with the concept, even though I thought I've never lived in a communist nor a socialist society until recently.
It's kind of
Let's talk
arguable
about
now.
America. Yeah. And not even arguable. Let's prove it. I was having this discussion with a lovely friend of mine very recently, a few days ago, of congratulations, your house is paid off, but do you own your house? The answer was like, yeah. I'm like, do you? What happens if 1 year you can't handle the taxes on your property? She was like, they're going to take it away. I said, then how do you own your house? You don't. It's the minimal aspect of socialist, but it is still socialist. In socialist countries, you never own anything. Name one thing you own in America. Even your car, you can buy a car cash. But if you don't go pay your registration and tax every year, and some counties are ridiculous. Let me give you an example. Douglas County being Omaha area of Nebraska. Michael, for a maybe 2-3 years old car, nothing fancy, very, I don't know, let's say $20,000 to $25,000 car.
Sure.
Your registration is almost $500 a year.
Good Lord, really?
Yeah. And then on a house that is about, let's say, between 200,000 to 250,000.
Sure.
A value of the house, your property taxes annually is between 4,500 to 5,000.
Unbelievable. This
is Midwest. It's small, middle of, it's not California, it's not New York, it's not DC. It's. I literally did a comparison, and Nebraska taxes, the state tax, 2023 income tax has been released that it's going to be 6.64%. 6.64%. California is sitting at 1% to 10% based on income. California has better taxation on income right now than Nebraska.
That's insane. Well, yeah, I mean, we don't really have governments anymore. We have a mafia, and they just want to get their hands in our pockets any way they can. I wish I could remember this guy's name. I'm going to actually look this up, because I don't know if any of you used to look at WorldNet Daily. Was it's still a website that Jerome Corsi used to run. I don't know if he's still involved or not, but for a while he had these two younger people on there that were kind of doing these interesting YouTube videos where they look at different topics. And one of them they did was, they said the way that America is right now, we're not a democracy, we're not a socialist country. What we are now is a fiefdom. We're all peasants. We all live on the land as serfs. You can't ever own your house. There's always going to be property taxes on it. There's always going to be a penalty just for being there. You can't own your car. There's penalties for this. So we pay part of our income, no matter what the situation is, or what we think we own, to those that oppress us. And I think they're right. It's a serfdom.
Exactly. Bingo. That's the thing. You think you got the American dream. Own a home, have a car, have a family. You don't.
No.
You don't. When hyperinflation hits, when the market crashes, all it takes is one day after your registration on your car, your tax, you can't drive that car anymore. You can't. You have to go pay it. Your house, if you don't pay your property taxes, I believe it's 90 days. You got 90 days. They're gonna put a lien on your house. They're gonna go for pre-foreclosure. They will foreclose your house based on property tax. A
Yeah.
house that you paid off for what, 30 years, 20 years of your life, it's gone.
Yeah.
And we want
There,
to claim that we are in a free country. No, we're not. We have the half Islamic, well, quarter Islamic, quarter socialist, quarter globalist, quarter communist.
yeah.
Depend on which state you're in. Like if you're in Michigan, you're more of an Islamist. If you're in blue states, you're more of a communist. If you're in Midwest nowadays, you're in socialist. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. And again, like it's a system that's grown up over time. Like the income tax is another perfect example. Like for those of you that don't know, there is actually no law in the books to this day that requires you to pay an income tax. It was never changed from 1913 from voluntary compliance. So like when you see people arrested for tax fraud, it's usually for other things related to it, like submitting fraudulent documents, because that law's never changed. There's it goes all back to your starting point. We live in a lawless society.
Bingo.
And we've just accepted that. We've accepted, unfortunately, that there's not much we can do about it. Oh, I don't want to be the one that fights back. I don't want to take this court case. And it's also weak judges and weak people weak politicians that we've put up that are not willing to say, take a look at the law, take a look at the case and say, you know what? This person's right. There is no law on the books that requires them to do this, or this law is illegal. It violates their constitutional rights. Nobody has the testicular fortitude anymore to make those kinds of decisions and shake things up. Or when somebody does, the immediate reaction is this person is a rebel. This person they're causing trouble. They're disrupting the system. Well, somebody needs to, because this is not a system I want to live under for much longer.
And that's the thing, the catchphrase of poking the bear.
Yeah.
Everybody wants somebody else to poke the bear, but then when they do poke the bear, they are the first one to judge them for, why would you go do that now?
Yes.
You do know how many times I've received messages of, why would you say that? Why would you do that? Well, because First Amendment gives me the right to say what I want to say.
Yes.
That's normally my answer. But that's the thing. How much more lawlessness does it take for people to realize, again, it is your choice. As of right now, it is your freedom to choose your lifestyle. But just keep in mind and bear in mind, the moment you choose and not so much of a free lifestyle, there is no coming back. When you voluntarily give away your freedoms, you can't just turn around and say, hey, can I have it back? It's kind of they make you say the shahada, and then when you're like, oh, I don't know what I was saying, so I'm not a Muslim anymore, you're still going to be killed for being an ex-Muslim.
Yes.
They don't care if you knew what you were saying is shahada or not. It's the same. Remember, all these ism, it's the same thing. They all have the same system. They just chose different. For example, microphones all at the end of the day transfer your audio. Now some are wireless, some are wired, some has higher volume, some has noise reduction. It's the same thing with globalists and socialists and communists and Marxists and Islamists. They all have the same system. They might operate it differently, but the system is the same, which is take away your freedom. Now, we're making it way too easy by not pushing back. And I understand, I repeat, I get it. It is not that easy, but unless we always are making a choice. One of my very favorite saying that is my own, yes, at any given moment of your day, you are making a sacrifice. But if you're making it unknowingly, then you do not know what you're sacrificing. Might have been not worth sacrificing. That's why when I'm making a decision, I make sure to make the decision, because if I'm not making it and somebody else is making it for me, therefore they are making also the sacrifice for me, might be something precious to me that they're sacrificing.
Yeah.
Not to get too philosophical here, not getting too deep, but remember, by not doing anything about anything, you are compromising and sacrificing. So you might as well sacrifice and compromise what you choose to do, not what somebody else did, because you were just sitting back and letting it all go down.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, by not doing something, you're making a choice and you're allowing things to happen. You're empowering those that want to oppress you. And as you stated, it doesn't matter if it's globalism, Islam, socialism, communism, fascism, They're all different flavors of the same poison. The end game is the same. It's control over you, control over your life, control over every aspect that you have. And if we don't start standing up to this, there's a saying that people, like to laugh at or say because they want to appear like they're tough. You can vote your way into socialism, but you always have to shoot your way out. And we don't want things to get to that point where the only answer comes at the barrel of a gun. Right now, there's still a chance to push back, to protest, to vote in officials that will do things, and to stand and make changes peacefully. We don't want things to get pushed further where the only solution is to shoot our way out of it.
Exactly. Exactly. And my thing is, Michael, what if we get to the point of having to shoot our way out of it when there's nothing to shoot anymore because we gradually gave up on Second Amendment too? And I understand me and you aren't going, but this is way bigger than me and you and our audience. We're talking huge numbers, and we both know, most of our audience know, every time Chicago has the no question asked, they're
Yeah.
dropping off weapons. No question asked, dropping off weapons or money. It was interesting for me that I knew few people that as soon as bills were tight, the first thing they sold was their weapon. I'm like, what? What? Ha- Why would you go do that? First of all, why would you sell things? Like, again, I don't know. I guess I've been through refugee time. I know how to stretch my dollar into 10. That's just the
Yeah.
way I am. I know when things are luxury, when things are necessity, and when both need to be cut down. But yeah, they sell their guns. Their weapons is the first thing they get rid of. So question is, are we going to snap out of this before we don't have anything to shoot with? So that option is out of the way, and we're going to end up with like Brazil and Argentina and parts of Italy and Australia and Iran, where we have to fight with our own blood. Or are
Yeah.
we going to actually take actions that is going to stop this from going there? And I agree, um, Jake Burr. We need to put our citizens through citizenship classes, teach them their rights. Agreed, and that's actually one of the things we will be adding, as we mentioned. We're putting together a studio. Um, Lord willing, in about 2 months or so, we should be kind of getting ready to start there. But one of the extra programming we're adding to our broadcast once a week will be us going over the Constitution. We're literally going to break it down, dumb it down, whatever the term is, um, to
Yes.
start educating our audience with not just the Constitution, but we will also bring bills that are unconstitutional or bills that are constitutional. So we know you're busy. I mean, we're busy too, but that's part of what we do. We're gonna start showing you, bills and laws they're trying to make, so you can pick up the phone, call your representative, say, "Hey, bill number yada 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 is unconstitutional based on this article of." Like, we're gonna just break it all down. We're gonna start with once a week, 1 hour a week, but if it works out and if we can, continue doing it, we'll might add another day or two to it. We will have constitutional lawyers on with us on those programs. I'm excited, but yes, I agree. We also realize there's a need for it, so we're gonna have constitutional educational programming coming up somewhere end of March, early April, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, and to add to your point, I think that is part of why that stuff is not taught in schools, is they don't want people understanding our founding or their rights. They want somebody that's leaving a public school, public indoctrination center, to think that everything comes from daddy government, that we don't really have these rights guaranteed to us, and we don't have our freedoms protected. They don't want people asking questions. They don't want critical thinkers. So that's why instead things are pushed about, environmentalism and this rights group and that rights group, and how we're all oppressed. America's a horrible nation founded on slavery, and all the usual talking points. They want that to be what people are indoctrinated with, instead of schools generating people that are empowered, that are taught that these are the rights you have, and this is what you can accomplish. This is why America is the greatest country on earth. They don't want people leaving with that perception. They want them hating the country, and that way they're disinterested when things like this happen, when our rights are trampled. They don't care. They just want to, watch the next video on TikTok.
And that is exactly how we have gone from being a great nation to not being a great nation.
Hmm.
Because you look at things, there was a time when America was number one in economy. Now we're sitting at number seven, I believe, as of today.
Oh,
Uh, America used to be on certain topics such as mathematics and science, or sorry, physics. America used to be standing on a 3. Now I
yeah,
think we're 112.
something like that. Yeah, we used to lead the way. If we weren't
That's
number
the
one in,
thing, but that's how they take a nation down, dumb it down, control it, dumb it down. Why do you think majority of Islamic countries either don't allow a school for girls and half a school for boys and just no school whatsoever? Why do you think here's the thing, I one of the things a lot of people may not know is in Islamic Republic of Iran, when you go to school, whatever grade, starting second grade up, uh, there are uh, 3 topics or subject in a school, no matter from second grade all the way to your PhD. There are 3 subjects that every year you have them. It is mandatory. And if you do not pass those classes, you will not go up. And by the way, the passing grade for those 3 topics or 3 subjects are not, anything F and up.
yeah,
It's B, B plus, A, and A plus. That's all you got. Anything below B, and you did not pass the class. Number 1, Quran. Quran.
of course.
Number 2, Dini, or known as religion, the other aspects of Islam. And you have number 3 topic, which is the language, Arabic language. You don't pass these 3 classes, you're I have, to this day, I have people saying that I am going, like, let's say bachelor's or associate degree or master degree or whatever degree. I'm studying computer science. Why do I need to know Dini, Quran, and Arabic? Like, well, it's called dumbing down.
Yeah,
I still say if they wouldn't put all of this in my brain, I probably would have some sort of degree. They jammed a bunch of irrelevant, useless things in my head, and I understand. I know you're all very kind, but still, the time they wasted on my brain cells to put Quran, Dini, Muhammad, Arabic, all that in my head, if that would have been spent on, I don't know, mathematics, which is my favorite topic,
anything useful.
biology, anything. No, that's why. Dumb your society down with lower level of education. You get to control them. You do.
Yeah, yeah. It's easier to control stupid people, and it's easier to control people that are struggling. If your population's main problem is how am I going to put food on the table, where do I get clean water, how do I keep a roof over my head, then they're not thinking about resisting or rising up. Or they're not thinking about their rights, and that's what we're slowly sliding into right now, especially with this bad economy that's going to get worse. I mean, I saw early was it came out this today or yesterday? What state is this now? Eggs are $8 for a carton of eggs, in I don't know, California. So I mean, this is
Oh,
coming soon.
there. So far, I have 9 different states sending me receipts of $8 to $9 to $10. California is one of them. Yes.
Good God. Well, I'm glad I bought eggs last week. Hopefully they last me a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Actually, sorry. What is that?
I don't
Help
know.
me out. The Browns are from Browns, the football team,
Oh yeah,
Ohio
Cleveland.
Browns,
Yeah, Cleveland.
Cleveland. The $10 receipt was from Cleveland.
Are you serious? Yeah, that's only like a
Yes,
4-hour drive from where I am. So I guess
from Kroger. Was from Kroger.
well, whenever I get groceries again, I'm gonna go check and probably have a heart attack.
Yeah, it was
Um,
11.
seven
Well, there you go,
dollars in North
Jace.
Carolina. Holy.
Uh, I think I can confirm Nebraska is on 8. Let me double check, but I think Nebraska is for a dozen, right? We're talking
Yeah,
dozen.
for a dozen eggs. But, this is something that used to be like when you're broke, you go get eggs because they were $1 or $1.50, $2 for a dozen. And I remember times back in the day when I was still working at the studio, almost 20 years ago. Yeah, weeks that we were broke, that's what we did. We grabbed, ramen noodles, eggs, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. But now, if all of a sudden a dozen eggs costs as much as, well, chicken's probably $8 a pound now too. I mean, it's insane. But anyway, like as you get people where they're more and more insecure because they're just fighting to have their basic daily needs met, that's how you control them, because then they don't have time to complain when you're taking their other rights away.
Yes, and I can confirm that. Oh wow. Okay, I just shocked myself.
How bad
Um,
is it?
Well, the egg is 6 actually for dozen, but since you brought up chicken, it's 7.33 for just drumstick.
Holy, yeah, I just looked it up here. I'm on Walmart for my
For
area.
boneless chicken thighs, it's 13.13.
Are you
And
serious?
for ground beef, 80 lean, 20 fat, 3.98 per pound.
I'm getting some ground beef. I mean, I just bought chicken thighs, whatever it was, a week or so ago when I made that chicken noodle soup, and I
Hmm.
paid for, I think I paid $12 for 3 pounds. So the price is basically doubled in a little over a week.
Okay, I will ask you to declare, you know what?
Yeah, I declare shenanigans. This is
Because 16 ounce of my favorite bacon is 4.24. 16
wow.
ounce.
That's actually better than every other price. So I'm gonna be eating a lot of bacon.
Yeah, no, the last time it's almost doubled because last
Yeah,
time it was 2.90 something.
man, I'm
Less
buying my
than three
bacon in
dollars is
Nebraska.
4.14. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yes, I agree. The hyperinflation is already here, but it's happening so slowly. Like it didn't go from like one shopping to next. Like it was 50 cents, 20 cents, 30. They have learned how to get it there without
yes,
people noticing. But you look at an average household, a family. Like I mean, I actually complained to you a while ago. I'm like, I can't believe even cat food is doubled.
yeah.
Like the dry food I get for kitties, the 20-pound bags, I think it's, let me see, the 20 pounds. This time my bill was almost $48. I've
Unbelievable.
never paid more than $30 for that brand and 20-pound of it. It was almost 48 this time. Like, okay, so I gotta share my food with my cats now.
Yeah, pretty
It's
soon
going crazy.
it's that old joke. Do I pay the rent or do I eat cat food? And for, oh, you won't even be able to afford the cat food pretty soon. So
Oh yeah, cat. The wet food is definitely getting out of control. I was actually googling or YouTubing of how to make my cat food. I'm gonna start cooking it myself because this is out of control. I mean, I love my babies and all that, but the price of wet food is badly like crazy.
yeah,
Anyhow, we actually went over our time, and I feel like we either bored our audience too much because everybody just went quiet. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to comment anymore.
yeah.
Sorry,
Everybody's
guys, we got carried away.
They're all checking the price of eggs in their area.
I know. I think we just triggered that. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
there's 7.73 here where I am. Which again, last time I bought eggs, they were $2 for a carton. But
it's crazy. But yes, wake up, guys. Let's do something. Let's push back and yeah, we gotta get going before it gets too out of control. And remember, at the moment there is no Congress in session. That
yeah,
is going to work against us. Okay, I understand there was a concept of, oh, it's good, nobody can make bad laws. It is not good. Okay, let's not look at this in any shape or form as a good thing. It isn't. If we need to contact, there's a list. You can contact your representative. As far as this vote goes, let's gather them under one name. um I mean, I'm just not sure if we can all agree on one name ourselves. That's the problem.
no, and like one thing I've been doing, and I did this yesterday and today. My I emailed my rep, who is Warren Davidson here in Ohio, and I emailed him. I was polite. I just said, um, please do not support McCarthy. I would strongly encourage you to vote for Byron David. I can't even talk right now. But anyway, I just sent him a nice, polite email, and I've been doing that every day. I tried calling the office, but I just get voicemail, so I'm sure other people are probably getting the same experience. Contact your rep, send them an email. If they get enough of them and they start seeing constituents. Another thing I always do in these is say, I donated to your campaign in the last election cycle. I will not be donating to you in the future if you don't change this vote.
I do the reverse actually. I go with, I have been hesitant on donating to your campaign, but hopefully under these circumstances you will change my mind to be solid to donate. I actually
Good.
bribe the future with them. At least for last few days calling them, that's what I've been doing. Like,
The carrot and
I
the
haven't
stick.
donated,
Yeah.
but I might donate if you do the right thing.
Yeah. I'm happy to support candidates I like. I always donate to people during election cycles. Yeah, I don't want McCarthy, and unfortunately, my local rep.
That's the thing, Ingrid. We all can agree who we don't want, but I don't know if we can agree on who we do want. That's my
Yes.
thing. Like, can we all come to agreement of who we want? Or that I think that's actually the problem right now, because the votes are getting so split because we don't have one person that's strong enough to be the replacement. I mean, I think
Yeah.
we do, but that's just my personal choice.
Yes, I think Byron Donalds would be awesome, but I think a lot of the established people are afraid of him, and especially now, like he came out swinging after what's her name from the Squad, after she basically said he's not black, that he supports white supremacy. I just blanked on her name, but anyway, Cory Bush. He came out swinging afterwards, and I think that scared him even more.
Was it Cory Bush?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the black girl who did that, but anyway.
It might have been. Maybe I got it. Maybe I got the name wrong.
The one who shaves her head.
Oh, was it her? Presley?
I feel like Presley. I think Presley revoked the black card for Donald.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe you're right. I was thinking it was Cory Bush for some reason.
Well, I mean, they all came screaming after her, but yeah. Anyway, just for the record, but it was I'm with you. That would be my vote, Byron. Yeah, he regardless of the biggest thing I very much adore about him is the fact that no matter where he is, no matter how he's doing it, he has always proven by force of habit to be a very godly man. He has. Yes. And you can tell if somebody's faking that godly manner, or somebody just, the phrases they use shows you that they do trust in God and they do, follow God. He just has that. And I can't help but to think one of the reasons we have so much corruption is the fact that we don't have enough godly people in our government.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why he has many reasons. This is the number one reason that he has my vote.
Yeah, and really, what more can you ask for? Somebody with a good heart that's willing to, that has those Christian values we always talk about so much, that this is what we want in our leaders. This is somebody that has it, and he's somebody that's articulate, and he has that balance of, he knows when to be polite and when to tear them a new one. I'll just put it that way.
Yes, and Ingrid, I would agree with the fact that she said, I wish Jordan would reconsider. I would say if he wasn't so deeply involved with the investigation of Biden family, I would say yes, but we need him there right now.
Yes.
We need his commitment, his clear vision, his bluntness, his fearlessness on that investigation. That investigation can really play a huge role in a lot of what happened now 3 years, something like that. So I would say we do, just like I say, we need DeSantis right where he is. We need Jordan right where he is right now. Maybe a few years from now, but today we need him with this investigation. We do.
Yeah, and you have to remember too, not everybody wants to be in that spotlight and be that leader. Jim Jordan is going to be a lot more effective continuing to lead the Judicial Committee and continue to sit in on these hearings and ask tough questions and get results that way. He probably just, honestly, it'd be a waste of his time to be the speaker. I'm sure that's how he looks at it. He is much more useful in that role.
And he's too young anyways. I mean, by definition of politics, he has got plenty of years left to be the speaker. That's why I like talking politics, by the way, everybody, because that makes me feel like a baby. Because by politician age, I'm a baby. I don't feel
nowhere near 182 like Nancy Pelosi, 205 like Mitch McConnell.
Listen, McConnell, Pelosi, Bernie Sanders, Biden, they really just need to stop. Like, go home, lay down, roll over, and you know what? Like, enough. They have sucked life out of every American enough. Just go away now.
I saw a meme the other day for Mitch McConnell with a guy.
I'm sorry, that is a very valid point, Ingrid. Ingrid saying, but if you don't get the right speaker, there may be no investigation. That's true. But considering that all the options as of right now, McCarthy is gone. He can fight as much as he wants. Mark my words right here, right now. He's gone. He will not be the speaker. And the remaining names available, they are all going to be right. It's just a matter of which one is better in which aspect. I meant to say which aspect. Like, I don't think we have a bad name in the hat, do we, Michael?
No, I mean, I'd like to see any of these 20 that have stood strong. I'd be fine with any of them because I've even looked up a few of them that I wasn't familiar with, and I've liked everything I've read. That's what we wanted. That's what we want. The people that voted and put these people in office. We want someone that is willing to stand strong, not just compromise and push our values and our agenda forward. And that's what they're showing us they can do. My biggest fear with McCarthy is him striking a deal with the Democrats. He's already said he wouldn't do that, or there'll be some other sort of crossover thing, or that they're going to appoint Hakeem Jeffries, just to spite the conservatives. That 3 or 4 Republicans will jump the aisle, vote for him, and that's who we get stuck with.
I don't know. It's a little stretch with that. I still think, yes, it's going to take a little bit of time, and we just need to continue making calls as citizens. Keep on praying. Do take the action of making calls, but I don't know where I'm getting this, but I really strongly believe that this time around we're going to get one of the good ones. One of the good ones. Again, my personal choice would be Donald. He is from his representative in Texas, right?
I think he's Florida. I think he's somewhere near
He is Florida. You're right. So that would be my personal happy dance. But again, it just doesn't look like. Listen, if we were going to give in for a bad one by now, it would have wrapped up. That's my point. Like,
yes,
day 3, are we day 3, 4, 3?
Yeah, at least
Day 3, round 9, I think, or 10, something like that.
We're on 10 now, or 11.
11. The fact that we haven't given up tells me we're not gonna settle for one of these people anymore. We just won't. That's just how I see it. If this was another time of getting trapped by another Rhino or a McCarthy or whatever, it would have been done by now. Everybody was sworn in, business as usual, making bad deals. It just feels like this time around we have the 20 enough strong numbers of a strong American-loving representative who are saying nope. Now let's pray this happened for RNC chair. That's coming up as well. Let's pray enough GOP members will put their money where their mouth is, and we don't end up being stuck with what was her name again? Rhonda? No, Ronna.
Ronna McDaniels, Ronna Romney. By the
way, I
go
with Ronna Romney because everybody needs to remember which Romney she kind of relates to. So Romney is something that needs to be there. Okay, Michael, we got to wrap up here. We appear
to be on the 12th vote. Apparently, they had the 11th one while we were on air. And President Trump has now officially been nominated.
By whom? Gates?
Gates did it.
Gates did it. I don't know how I feel about that. You know why I don't know how I feel about that? Is this going to create more split on votes?
Yeah.
Is it going to drag it longer? That's okay. I hope Gates has talked to Jordan and Donald behind the scene before making the announcement, so they all put their duck in a row, so we don't end up even more split where it's going to work against us.
Yes, yeah, that and again, I think everybody likes the fantasy of Trump coming in there. Somehow they manage to throw out Biden and Harris, but again, this is not very likely, especially with how the Senate's controlled. I mean, you can impeach. I was joking around before saying we ought to make Biden the world record impeachment holder, and I still think we should do that, but just don't expect it to actually accomplish anything. Don't get our false hopes up.
Here's a question. Well, we can discuss this question. Let's wait until tomorrow, and we will be, everybody who's here, we will be back tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, same channel. So if you missed the post, make sure to tune back in tomorrow. We're going to be here. But let's see what happens tomorrow. Based on what happens tomorrow, we can discuss further of if this goes to happen. We're going to start speculating over who's going to run for presidential race. That is, everybody gather your thoughts. We're going to discuss that tomorrow, pending on where things are.
That's
but
right. Bring
if President Trump, well, not just question, we want your opinion. We want your 2 cents. We want your feedback as an American citizen. Where do you think things are going to go? What are your concerns? What are your happy dance moves? Because I do them all the time.
Yes.
But this is a huge game changer. If President Trump has agreed to become the speaker, there's a giant question mark standing on the race for presidential election. So we're gonna do that, guys. Yep. Come back tomorrow. Bring your comments. Bring everybody else. Sometimes, guys, we get busy. So you tell your friends that we're going to be live tomorrow, and then all that good stuff. Last words of wisdom from you, Michael. Let's wrap this up.
Well, I think, yeah, if everybody brings a friend, help us grow this show, because really, again, we are counting on you. We are going to be back on Facebook again next. Is it Monday or Tuesday? Monday.
I think Monday, but if not, absolutely Tuesday.
But in the meantime, if you always want to find out whatever Annie has going on or anything I happen to be doing, you can always check up on Live Up to Freedom. And thanks again for being here, everyone. We really do appreciate it. Yes,
you're awesome. We'll all see you tomorrow. Bring a friend and think about what we said. Let's speculate tomorrow and have a game plan, because that's the thing. We need to get ahead from now on and have game plans. So stay safe, stay vigilant. You're awesome. See you all tomorrow. Bye,
Don't forget to live up to freedom. Thank you.